All right, baby. I'm a rock and roll. 101.5 WPDH, 921. Good morning to you. We're looking for a high today in the upper 50s,
yeah,
plus 60.
about 58 for a high today. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds. We may see some showers as well. Looks like there is some rain in the forecast for tomorrow, too. Some morning showers and then a more steady rain developing in the afternoon, about 50 high tomorrow as well. So right now we're around 42, and that's your WPDH forecast.
And joining us in the studio, we have Mark Mckenna. Now, we had a chance to meet Mark probably, about 6 months ago, 8 months ago at this point?
That's about right.
And Mark is a comic book inker, but really more of like a co-artist that you're involved in stuff like this.
Yeah.
You've been making your money in comic books for how long now?
27 years.
That's an amazing.
It's so cool.
You know, we talk about this all the time, but when the old statement, if you find something you love, you'll never work again.
Right.
You know, when you meet people that have a job like that, like I'm a comic book inker.
Yeah.
That is such a specific niche. You know, and you've got to be really good at what you do. So every day you go out, it's got to be like, hey, look what I do for a living.
Well, I loved it for the first 13. The last 14 have been a little bit trying.
Now
Really?
it's like a job? It's turned into a regular job for you?
You know, it's that you still have deadlines, like when your homework is due on Monday and you work until 11 at night. There are deadlines that take the fun out of it because it's not just like, hey, I can draw and hand it in. You have deadlines to work with.
Right.
And also, as I get older in the business, there's young guns coming in. They get less money.
Yeah.
They'll do more work.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's kind of
Yeah.
actually where we want to take, with the phone calls. If you are one of those young guns who's always wanted to get into the comic book industry or you want to know things about it, feel free to give us a call, and Mark will be more than happy to share his expertise with you.
To a point.
Yeah, to a point. He won't give you any of his professional contacts. Yeah, he won't. I don't know anybody who's looking for
No. Actually, it's a dying business. Get out of it.
Get out. I don't know why you're wasting your time. But if you'd like to do that, you can get it at 471 WPDH. Now, it's cool because now I was looking at some of your artwork, and you brought your portfolio with you. Last time you brought a bunch of stuff that my son has hanging up in his room. The superhero stuff that you brought and things like that is just so cool.
Yeah.
And he's so into it. But you also do children's books.
Yes.
This is really cool. It's now it's Banana Tail, and I don't want to say that it looks like it's Curious George because I might get you in trouble.
Actually, I did a search on Banana Tail, and I found a link that said if you like Curious George, you will like Banana Tail.
Oh, really? So
Well, there
that
you
was
go.
so then. But it's a neat little book, and as soon as I saw it, all I could think to myself is, oh, Ollie is going to be reading this to Ike for days.
Oh, yeah. They'll love it.
Oh, yeah, because the colors are great. It's
Yeah.
really bright and stuff like that. Now, what made you branch into children's stuff?
Part of it was that I had control of Banana Tail because it's my stuff.
Yeah.
As opposed to comics where you work for Marvel and DC, you work for hire. And my dad, who passed away in 2002, was I call him the great procrastinator because he was a guy who had amazing ideas, but never. He never felt he was good enough. He'd rip his stuff up and throw it out.
He was an artist as well,
He was
comic
not-
books or
no,
what?
Actually, my father was a teletype operator for Merrill Lynch
Oh, really?
for 35 years. Yeah.
Talking about a gig that went away, huh?
Yeah. But what happened was I said to him, Dad, you got a son who's in comic books and you're a writer, or want to be, and he wasn't happy with his job. He was commuting, to New York from Long Island every day, and it wore on him after all those years. So I said to him, let's do something together. At the same time, my daughter was 4 and my son was a newborn.
So Grandpa doing a children's book and Dad doing the illustrations together is perfect.
Yeah.
Good connection.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's really cool. So now your father passed, you said no, too.
Right.
Did you get a chance to see the book
He
finished?
never did.
That's too bad, man.
What happened was when he passed, I decided I actually had a shot at having it with. Do you remember Golden Books?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Golden Books was huge. The Pokey Little Puppy,
Right.
the Saggy Baggy Elephant. I actually submitted the softcover version of the hardcover that you have in front of you to Golden Books, and they told me they really dug the characters, and they actually gave me options of what they would do with my characters. One of them was to buy outright Banana Tail and Tic Tac, who's the plaid zebra in the book, and put them in as supporting characters to this other book called Saggy Baggy Elephant. And I didn't really know what that was at the time, but then I saw it on the Disney Channel like in between 2 half-hour shows.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the most boring stuff I've ever seen.
So you were glad you didn't sign off on that, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, they the same week I was supposed to meet with them to discuss a future with Banana Tail, they had bankruptcy issues back in '98, and they fired my editor that same week. I was supposed to go in on Thursday.
Wow.
She was gone on Monday, and it all fell apart. But that is what prompted me to know I had something special.
So and then you go out, so you self-published?
I self-published the first one, and I sold 2,000 copies in 4 months, and I knew I had something going there.
Yeah.
And then I had this publisher come and do the hardcover version for me. He never got the book out because he didn't market. He had so much of a budget. He produced the book, but he didn't have enough money to get it, out there. So he went belly up, and then I am buying all the books from him.
So basically, you're if you do business with Mark Mckenna, you're about to go bankrupt. Seems to be the lesson that we're learning here. All right. Hi, PDH, who's this?
Hello, this is Tony from Honesdale, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Tony, you got a question for Mark?
Yes. I was just wondering, I have a lot of comic books from ALF, A-L-F. Remember the show ALF?
Oh, Alf, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The TV show.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering if they have any value to it.
Probably not.
Really? That's, because the comic books, they tend to be more towards the superhero, geared toward the superhero stuff and things, right?
You might find a niche market, Tony, where somebody is interested in ALF. You can go to a something called a Comic Buyer's Guide. It's a yearly book, and you can look up ALF in there. I don't know if they have a link online. They do have a link online. I'm just not sure if you can check the prices there. But to me, in my mind, I didn't think ALF would be. Are they in good condition, or are they all well read?
They're like brand new, never read.
Yeah.
I just used to buy them and put them away.
Yeah, I can't imagine that the ALF fan and reading would become go too much hand in hand.
Yeah.
Look at you. Look at Mark. Thanks a lot, man. Take it easy, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
that is one of those weird things. I was like, how did you end up with 1,000 ALF comics? What the hell happened here? What sort of strange gambling deck got paid off with these, All right, Mark Mckenna, our guest in the studio. If there's anything you've always wanted to know about the comic book industry, Mark is here to help you answer those questions.
Yeah.
Plus, we'll talk more about a lot of cool stuff you do. Combat Jacks, which is now what is Combat Jacks?
Combat Jacks is me doing my own stuff, creator owned. It's the idea of it was I was a fan of the old. I don't know if you remember the old EC comics. You certainly wouldn't, but from the 50s, where before they had a comics approval code, they used to have Vault of Horror, Tales of the Crypt.
Yeah, I want to talk about the comics approval code and stuff like that because it's very interesting stuff. We'll get into that when we get back. It's 9:28 right now. You're on Rock and Roll 101.5 WPDH. 101.